All right, welcome back. It's been a little while, fair few days, but I'm excited to work on this project again. So I'm going to open up our layout file, and let's see where we left off. So this is the overall world. There's a few things we want to do. So I think in the last stream we had been playing around with some characters, so it was sort of not the main work. So I want to get back to blocking, which is kind of the task at hand. First thing that needs to be done. I'm laughing at this tractor thing now. I get so easily distracted in details. It's got a lot more detail than it probably should at this point. But that's okay. So let's look at this first scene real quick, and then we'll move on to blocking in the others. We've got the first one done, essentially done enough for this level. Let's open up our script, and I think we've basically got this first page is what we've got. So we started in the tent in the morning. Mittens the cat walks across the sleeping bag and rubs across cue ball's face, waking her up. Then the background noise, beeping of a tractor, other working noise. Then the exterior of the tent. Police slices the walls of the tents. Then he slices cue ball's tent. Mittens jumps out. Cue ball goes out the tent door, starts chasing after the cat. Mittens, come back. Mittens outruns her and she walks back toward the tent. You have 3 minutes to grab your things and clear out. She looks around one more time for the cat, then goes back to the tent, grabs a few items. Mittens comes out, finds cue ball. Cue ball picks up Mittens. What am I supposed to do? Where are we supposed to stay? There's a shelter over on Pine Street. You can see if they have space. And then the tractor is tearing down the tents. And if I go back to our modeling view, if I go to the camera, give me just 1 second. I've got the wrong keyboard plugged in. I'm gonna get one with a number pad, which will make life in Blender a lot easier. Yeah, so here we should be at the camera, and we got our camera switching sorted out last time we worked on this. So yeah, here's how it goes. So we start in the tent. Kitten walks across her face, wakes her up. We've got just these spheres in place of people. There's the cop walking along, looking for people, slices over the tents, 1, 2, the green one's hers. Slices it open, the cat jumps out. She opens the door, goes chasing after the cat. Cat gets away. She comes back and talks to the police. He tells her, we probably need to lengthen that. She gets her stuff. Cat comes back, she picks up the cat. And now she's gone, and the tractor's coming in to demolish the tents. And that is it. That's the rough blocked out animation we got done from the last session working on this. So now what I want to do is we've got the other, I think it's 5 other locations, and I want to block those out to the same level. So same thing, just rough spheres for the characters, all of that. Let me turn off, we've got our buildings here, let me turn off the building layer in the viewport. And so here you can see where we kind of sketched out the way things are going to go. Let's look at the script again. So where we left off is now we go to the shelter. So in the scene we just saw, the police recommends her a shelter to go to in the city, and that's where we're going to be. And she's inside, like talking to the receptionist where she would check in. And then of course the conflict here is she doesn't get in, they don't let her in because of the cat. They don't allow pets, which is kind of the conflict. So Let's set this up, and I am going to keep things on the same timeline for now. So let's just bump this out. So we're working on a good set of frames. Oops, not what I meant. There we go. Okay, so this is the scene that's next. This is the building that's got the shelter. This is the lobby area. Then we've got the others. We've got the alley, the store. Oops, sorry about that. And the new camp location. And what we want to do is this one. Let's see. I think we'll see. Let's start laying things out, and we'll see what some things look like. So I'm gonna grab our camera, our last camera. We're just gonna duplicate that. And we can set up here, and I'm gonna put some walls in place. Oops. So I'm just gonna add a mesh cube that's not too bad on the scale. And then if I go into edit mode, vertex select, if I just get rid of that one, now I've got a nice little three-sided room, which is cool. Sort of line that up more or less with what we had laid out. Cool. So yeah, there's that little room. And then this camera. Oh, let's. Why can't I see this cube? I think this is. Oh, we're going to the wrong camera. Okay, let's go. So we'll go to our beginning frame. We'll set a new marker. We'll select this camera, and we'll. Is it Control M? I think. Nope. I'll do it from the menu. We'll bind the camera to the marker. There we go. So now we switch from that camera to this camera at this frame, which is great. Okay, so we can see our room. Let me look at how this is on the y-axis as well. Just move this up. We're using my grease pencil object is not at the same level as the. Oh, it is. That's the origin. Okay. Yes, we're using that as the ground level, so we're okay. Just the way things are here. Great. And I think we'll see how this goes. So this, as a field of view, is not bad, but I think what we're going to do is a little, moving magic where the camera is going to be sort of like it is out beyond the wall. So I think I'm going to be happier if this is a little further away and then a narrower field of view to compensate. So you can see I didn't really change the field of view much, but we'll be back farther, which will just help things to seem sort of flatter. Otherwise, you start to get the fisheye effect. Is all I'm trying to avoid here, because there's no reason for that in this scene. We're not trying to make it feel like a small space. So I think this is how if you were shooting this for film or TV, this is how you do it too. You'd have your sound stage, and you'd put the camera way back. You wouldn't, if you were doing this actually on a location of a space this small, you'd have some issue trying to get a camera in there and get a a nice undistorted image. So we're doing it the easy way. Let's make a new, where did this object go? Over here in my outliner. I do want to keep things organized, so let's create a new collection. And we'll call this reception. And this cube will go in there. This is the walls. Cool. I'm gonna oops, I keep hitting the wrong button there. I'm gonna add, I want to keep doing that. I'm gonna move my 3D cursor over here. Oops. Yeah. So I stopped doing that, so new objects will get added over here where I want them. Okay, so yeah, just dropped a new cube in. Gonna put this here as the desk, and that's not bad. Again, just blocking things in, but I want the few little kind of the essential props to be here, and then here's a question. So I want my character. Do I want to duplicate the character or just animate her being over here? I think let's just animate it and see what happens. I don't think that'll mess anything up. I think we're okay doing it this way. And I've got a mark for her here, although we'll probably adjust this. Actually, it's probably nice right there, actually. And then let's duplicate that. This one, I guess I've got characters. Okay, this is the receptionist. And then let's add a new color for her. So we'll just make a single user copy of this. Oops. Hold on. Undoing that. Oh yeah, because I was doing this with the UV mapping. I forgot about that. So that's fine. Okay, so material, oh, I've still got too many materials. So we can have the same material, but over here on the UV unwrap, where is this? Okay, so if I put this in edit mode, is that right? That can't be right. That's those were the walls. Oh, this thing. There we go. Yeah, so this is all purple. But the receptionist is going to be a different color. This orange yellow. Okay, and then just get things lined up. Sort of. Vertically as well. So I put Cuball, the main character, as like tall. I should make these walls and stuff different colors too. I made her taller than the receptionist, which is not is something I'm not sure I want to do. But right now, I'm just going to fix up these colors a bit. I really just need these colors to be different so that one like stands out from the other. That is an ugly color. Okay, that's better. Yeah, let's see what this looks like from the camera. Let's go back into modeling view 2. Okay, so from the camera right now, this looks like this. I'm going to do a few things. I'm going to move the camera over. I'm thinking about a few things here. Let me talk you through what I'm thinking, because I think I'm going to move the camera quite a bit. So one like traditional thing is you can kind of you can imply like levels of authority or dominance or something by the height of characters. Right now I have our main character taller than this receptionist. I don't know if it's like sitting at the table or standing and just shorter. But then from where I have the camera right now, it kind of evens that out. Which is fine, maybe. There's a couple things I don't like about this, though. So one, I have that question. I want to do that better, like the heights. I don't know exactly what the solution is yet. But I know right now I've got the main character right in the center, which is not ideal. Like, that's not a very dynamic shot. And if they're talking to each other, then I am just staring at the back of her head right now, which is also not what I want. So what I'm thinking is if I actually come more over here, yeah, and this is interesting. Okay, there's a shortcut for this, and I think I'm going to break something before I find it. I want to move the active camera to where we are right now. I'm going to try Control-Alt-0. Did that work? That worked. First try. Hey, that's pretty good. It even moved the right camera, so that's great. Okay. I'm going to rotate the camera slightly just to put them both more in frame. Something like that. This isn't terrible composition, kind of rule of thirds kind of thing here. There will be some other characters. Let me drop them into. You can see we had sort of dotted them here as like standing in line. Let's make them very gray. Oops, that's very blue. I guess I don't have a very gray. Sort of a green. That's fine. Okay, so right now they're just here to help us block the scene. I'm gonna put them here. I have this sort of like to the exterior, which is, I don't know if we want to use that. I don't know if we want to show the exterior at all, or what we're going to do with that. In the script, it's a purely interior shot. If I move the camera over here, though, to this side, then I feel maybe a little bit differently about that, since it's a different shot than I thought. Okay. So this, though, so here we would like see some extra people sort of in line, not really doing anything, just more like props in the scene. We could start that. We could have one more person who like walks away, right? Like who's walking away from the desk. So let's do that. Oops, I didn't have keyframes on any of those other things. Can I undo that? Yeah. So all of these on this keyframe need a key. Okay, and then this one, I have like 20 frames later is over here. And another 20 frames, he's gone like behind the wall, up the stairs or something. Which gives her the chance to move up as well. To kind of this more central position. I'm going to turn on auto keying because I apparently have been was kind of expecting to have it and not getting it. I was moving things and not saying it. Okay, so I've still got the height question, and then I've got these people are all shorter. They don't need to be shorter. They can be sort of roughly the same height. Right, without thinking about the power dynamic or anything, this person's sitting at the desk, I think is like a very reasonable thing to do. So I'm going to imagine it that way just for the moment. Cue ball is here. Let's see, I should put them their Z location. Actually, I could just get rid of that whole key. So I only selected one. Why is this? This is lined up so weird. Oh, because those are the, okay, I see. Okay, no keyframe there for the receptionist. So I'm having just a little bit of lag on my controls again. Let me move this over too so I can see this like overhead view all the time. Even though it's small, I think that's helpful. Yeah, so receptionist there, or here. Okay, and now, yeah, forgetting about the power dynamic for a bit. Just having the receptionist sitting, I think, is reasonable. I think there's one interesting thing now with the camera position. I do, by the way, I like the camera over here much better than where we had it over here. I guess we moved the characters around, but we had them like very centered and very even in the back of her head. So that obviously didn't make sense. And now here we can kind of pick up these extras as well. This is not bad. And we should, if she's got the cat like tucked into her jacket, from this view, this is like a side view. Like she's looking at the gold person over here. So we should be able to just see like into her jacket a little bit. Maybe we can see the cat even though the receptionist can't. Or then like we could make it so there's kind of a reveal of the cat being there. This is getting over that. And then the only other thing on my mind is I think there's a difference. So the way the camera is right now, we can see like this is the top of the desk, there's the side towards us obviously, and then we can see this side as well, which I think sort of indicates that we're on the side of the receptionist, like we're in the receptionist perspective of this scene. I want to see what this looks like if we switch it. I'm going to do this in this view so I can really easily change the position and rotation. Where if we're on this side, we would have to move these people out of the way. But then we get like a little bit more from cue ball's point of view. which narratively probably makes sense, but I'm going to back it out here. Because I think I just like this better. Yeah, I think we're going to frame it like this. This will work. This will work for the dialogue. I think we get the scene set. We can have on the back here, the back wall somewhere, kind of an indication of the stairs or hallway or like where that other person goes. We'll change it right now. He's like right behind the main character. We could put. Let's just go ahead and do that differently. So we can change this keyframe. Instead of being here, we put it over here, and then like a third of the way through that, so he doesn't walk through the table. Put him like here, and now I see the receptionist is messed up. These all have. Okay, I made a mistake because I duplicated the cue ball, so we got all her keyframes. That's okay. Let's fix that real quick though. So everything before this should go away. That's better. This character, same thing, everything before should go away. Same for this one, and then these two we'll just get rid of and duplicate this one again. And cue ball still got her animation. Okay, that should be better. So what we were trying to do here, let's make this so he walks, around the desk. Yeah, good enough. As she walks up to the desk. Uh-oh. I messed up these other characters. So here, okay. I thought I had it figured out. Oops, and I just deleted the grease pencil object. Okay. I want to check real quick. I must be on the embedded GPU again. Maybe not. The NVIDIA is being used. I'm not sure for what. It might have grabbed the video encoding. Okay, so I've got animation on that. What do I have animation on this? Just moving forward. Let's delete all of those. Oops. And that was on the building. Definitely want what I wanted. Okay, so we've got this character, all the keyframes removed. Actually, I'm going to do that one more time. Sorry about this. This is a this should be super trivial to do. Okay, I'm going to move that person. They get a keyframe there. Duplicate it. They get a keyframe. They get a keyframe all on 1102, which is our starting keyframe. And then from here, we're good. I think we had adjusted heights a little bit before. Great. And that person is at the desk, and then they move up. Okay. Let's go to this. Are we on this keyframe? Let's go to the same keyframe. above one more time and just, I'll just have them move up their spots in line. That's all. And yeah, that looks good. Okay, turn off auto keyframing for a minute. Get this back out of the way. Yeah, so we see this character moving up. He moves super fast, but that's fine. We'll fix that when we do the final animation. And then she's there, and it's like a dialogue that they have. What is the dialogue? Let's look at our script. Dialogue's like twice as long as the other one. And I guess there's not, the way we've written it, there's not really a reveal. She just gets to the front of the line. I wonder if we want to show her waiting in line at all. Just to give a sense of the time passing and the time invested in this task. I think we do. And then that gives us, because I was going to try and put in a second shot, or yeah, like a second camera angle, a second shot with the reveal. But I think it's still dynamic if we set up well, you know, we already have it. Cubo stands in line for registration and it's just tucked into her jacket. This is going to get its own separate shot, and then she gets to the front of the line. We'll switch the camera. So back to our modeling view here. So this will be the final shot where we have the dialogue between these two characters. Yeah, that'll be good. Before this, and so I'm actually gonna take everybody who's animated here. Oh no, I'm not. Yeah, this should work. I can grab. Can I? I want to grab all their keyframes just after this. And these are, well, we don't know exactly how long, but maybe about 200. Let's see, how long do we want to see her waiting in line? Because we'll show that, and then we'll cut to what we just built. If we did like 4 seconds of that, we want to make it feel long. We could make 4 seconds feel long. So that's about 100 frames. So if I just move everything up, about 100 frames. Then we've got this space for that. Okay, that's what we want. So let's set that up. So for her standing in line, oops, that was wrong. Because this is interpolating to her other animation way over here. So let me get the keyframe. Let me just duplicate that for now. Back to, I guess I need to put it, how do I do that? I want it right on 1102. See, I guess I'm on 16, so can I move it? 14? Not how that works apparently. And I don't have a menu for this. That's interesting. Can you put, It's interesting. If I hold control, I can get a float. If I don't, then I can put them anywhere. I'm going to get rid of that because I think I see what's going on. I think I want to copy these without holding control, and I want to move it to, I don't know what frame I was on. Now let's see which frame they're on. They're on 1102. Perfect. So now she doesn't move. Though now I want to move this one. So before this happens, we're going to show her standing in line. So we're just going to rearrange people as if these were different people. And we'll have another camera. Which, let's see how we... So we've got a marker already. So if I just bind this camera to the marker, and this one, here, let's go to our next keyframe. Then here, if I create another marker, and then I bind, which is Control B. Oops, I didn't have a camera selected. Control B. Okay, so now we should be switching cameras. So if I go to the camera view, we're in this camera, we're in this camera, we're in this camera. Great. So this camera is going to show her standing in the line, which we apparently didn't get keyframed. Oh, because I turned off auto keying. Yeah, of course I did. Okay, so these all have a keyframe at frame 1200. Okay, so just, okay. I'm going to turn on auto keying at frame 1102. The characters are aligned something like this, with these are different people. Yeah, and then the camera, oops, the camera is doing something more like this. This one is going to be a wider view. Put it down here, it's definitely like it's from the receptionist perspective. I don't think we want that. I think I want it to be of the line. Something like this. Yeah, so we'll start with something like this, and then by the end of it, didn't mean to do that. By the end of it, let me back up one. She won't be all the way there. She'll be here. Let's see. I wish I didn't have all the forward animation already. By the end, at the start, we've got people switching around. Okay, let me go back to this frame. I want to take these four, which are the characters I care about, and I'm going to take this keyframe and duplicate it all the way up to there. So now they're just holding still until we cut, which is then they're sort of different people. Okay, now I've got what I want. Now we can go from here. So this is the way they start. I'm just going to go to the end and line it up the way they end. So by the end, this person has moved out of frame. This person has moved up. She has moved up, and this person has moved into frame. And so she's like a little less than halfway, which I think is fine. It's like a slow progressing line. That's fine. And it's not... Oops, what did I do? I've got somebody... Give somebody a keyframe on the wrong frame. I didn't. Why does she move before everybody else? Slower than everybody else. I'm not sure. Did I change her interpolation? Okay, and then I'm gonna do the other thing here in the same view. So for all four of these characters, just going to make the motion shorter. So they're basically where they are, then they move, and then they're basically where they are until the end of the shot. That's more or less how I want it to go. And then we switch to this shot. Which shows the final advance of the line. And then we'll leave some room for dialogue. How much? And this we can always change the amount of time we leave, but how much time do we leave for dialogue? Sorry, dear, no pets. What do you mean? If you want to stay, you'll have to leave the cat outside. I can't do that. I'm sorry. He leaves on the verge of tears. It's hard to estimate. Maybe like 5 to 8 seconds. So we have, this is the moving up. Let's give it like 6 seconds from here. Which would be about 150 frames. We're at 1250. So out to frame 1400. I think that's more time than we gave a lot of our other dialogue. If you look at this. Oh, maybe that's about right. If we look at our whole timeline. Yeah, that might be about right. So now that I've got markers, I don't strictly need to name my cameras. But it's what I've been doing, and then so it is what I'm going to do anyway. So I'm going to set a marker there. And then I just want to get the frame numbers. So this is 1257, 1399. So this is 1257 to 1399. And this is 1102 to 1257. Okay, coming along, not too bad. I'm going to save this. And let me put the end here at 1399. And let's watch what we just did. So she's in line, standing in line, slowly gets to move up, gets to the front of the line, has a conversation with the receptionist. Sorry, dear, no cats. What do you mean? You'll have to leave your cat outside. She walks out. Sorry, dear, no cats. What do you mean? You'll have to leave your cat outside. We might need more time for that dialogue. What is the dialogue? I'm having trouble reminding. Sorry, dear, no pets. What do you mean? If you want to stay, you'll have to leave the cat outside. I can't do that. I'm sorry. And then she very compliantly, it doesn't argue or anything, goes outside. I'm sorry, dear, no cats. What do you mean? If you want to stay, you'll have to leave the cat outside. I can't do that. Sorry, dear. Alright, it's a little tight, but I'm going to leave it like that for now until we actually have dialogue and animation going on. I'm sure the timings for these will all get adjusted, but it's just not the right time to do that yet. So yeah, that's what we have. Okay. Good. Did I save this? I think I did. Let's save that. Let's go back to our script and let's look at the next shot, the next scene. Exterior alley, evening. Cuba walks into the alley, evaluates the space, and sits down out of view of the street, exhausted. Cuba pets Mittens, who seems happy. So, nice simple scene. Short. Probably just a single shot, maybe with a dolly zoom or something. Not a dolly zoom. Maybe a dolly. Yeah, let's set it up. Okay, back into top view here. And so this is the camera we just ended with. Let me duplicate that and put it over here. Oh, and this is nice. I already sort of put the camera motion that I want. Let's just line up with that and see how it works. So I had a camera here. I'm even gonna, I know that that's not the field of view that I wanted, so I'm even gonna line up the field of view the way I drew it. Oh, but I've got, nope, undo all of this. No, I'm okay. This is a duplicate camera. This is okay. I was worried about the auto keying. Let's take this. Let's get rid of these keyframes. Let's go to frame 1399. Let's set that as our start. Give ourselves some space here. Okay, and let's get our characters over here. So I select cue ball. Does she have She doesn't have keyframes on 1399. Okay, let's take these two. And on 1398, we're going to lock their location and rotation. So that on 1399, we can bring them both over to this scene. And the cat, who's over here somewhere. Didn't show the cat in the last scene. I probably should do that, but it's just with cue ball the whole time, so not really something we need to block out. Okay, let's imagine this as being about a 4-second shot. So we're at about 1400, so we'd go to about 1500. Let's see, do I have, I don't have auto keying on. So the cat's here, she's here. Great, and the camera is here. So if I go to this camera now, oops, that's the wrong one. If I put a marker on this timeline, and then I bind this camera to it, now we can go to this camera easily. Okay, let's turn our buildings back on, because they're important for this scene. We see the exterior of the buildings. So this one I don't want to move. This is where the shelter is. It's inside this building. And why can't I see characters? Just because they're hidden by the other building. Okay, so this is what we want to work out, and we're flexible in moving this building if we want to. And I think this does seem a little narrow. I think for an alley like this, you could usually like pull a vehicle in, pull a truck through one of these for deliveries or something. So we probably do want that a little wider than it is at the moment, and that'll help our camera situation a bit. Back to the camera view. This is not bad actually for what I wanted. I'm going to animate the camera already, just because that is what I had blocked out, and I think it is what I want. So if I go to about frame 1500, and then I move the camera over here to where I said I was going to put it, what does that look like? This is going to need to be lower, because they're going to be lower. Sort of like sitting in the corner, just exhausted. Okay, but then if we back up to here, to the keyframe, they're not really in view here, but they can be if we move them. Put her and the cat here. Where did they end up in the 3D view? I'm going to go to wireframe because that building's in the way. Oh, no, that was okay. The building wasn't in the way. So if I have them just before the corner, so we'll have them just before the corner when it starts. Have them walk up, She's gonna check around the corner. So I'll have him hold there just a little bit extra. She is always, she being cue ball, is always leading the cat through this scene, I think. Yeah, so they walk up. She stops and looks. The cat's animation should be just a little bit delayed from hers, so that she's really leading the action. So she comes up, she sort of looks around the corner and walks in. Right about here is where she sits down. Exhausted, which is really should be at least the X and Y positions should be the same from this keyframe. So let me grab this. Oops, X and Y. I delete those and then take these two and duplicate them. Cool. So she comes in, she finds her spot, and the cat's just moving smooth the whole time, like cats do. And kind of curls up with her, and then I think we're gonna hold this for another. I thought this was the whole shot, but I want to establish this as being like where they're going to rest for the night. So I think all the way up to here, and then I'm just going to put lock another keyframe, lock both their locations. Is the camera, what does the camera do? Camera just holds. I think that's fine. So this shot looks like this. Okay. Her motion was not good. That is not smooth. Let's put this back to 1557. Cue ball was all over the place there. I want to click through this. So she walks up, this looks okay. She gets about to the corner. She just goes. That doesn't really play like I wanted it to, excuse me. So if I move this back a bit. So now she's, let me back up. So we're here, now she's walking. Now she does. I need her to pause. Do I just need to duplicate that? Have her come to a hard stop. Okay, so she's walking. She pauses here. Maybe it doesn't need to be that long. Then she walks around the corner. Now the cat. Okay, here's where she takes off. This move is really fast. This needs to not be this fast. So this keyframe just needs to be farther out. comes around. It's down here, picks her spot, and sits. Yeah, I think that's good. I want to back it up just a couple frames. And this Z, I don't know if I grabbed, oh, let me look at this in like an ortho view. I can't see anything in the ortho view. Well, I can see her height. Her height changes. I don't want it to change until here. So let me do that, that. Those can all go on her Z height. Now she's, oops, nope, too many. Oh, this one. I can just duplicate this one to there. So now she's got the same Z height until here, and then she sits down. Let's go back to the camera and look at that. She's walking. Okay, she's walking. She pauses. She walks again around the corner. The camera's really coming in as we do this. So we're like clipping her head here. And then she sits down. Her motion's good. Then it's a hold. Then during this hold, there's like facial expressions or something happening. Okay, let's look at the cat and adjust this timing, because I think we might want to adjust that now that we've got hers. So she's walking. The cat should be smooth, but should be like behind her, always following her. So I think here we start leading a little bit. So if I just take this keyframe forward slightly, then we get to it later. So now the cat stays behind her. I want to move this one forward too. Just a few frames. Okay. So the cat should be walking this whole time. Why doesn't it look like that's happening? I'm looking in this overhead view now, and something weird. So I'm going to go to this frame. I want to move the cat forward because the cat should just be trying to walk alongside her, and it doesn't realize the instant that she turns, but it also shouldn't get ahead of her. There's something I don't understand with the motion here. If I go to this top view, so the cat, I only have 2 keyframes on the cat, so we should be here and then to here, but it's like all the Y motion happens and then the X. Instead of going in a straight line from this point to this point, it's doing like a J curve. But I don't know why that would be. These are the only keyframes. Let's go into Graph Editor. To what frames are we at here? I'm caring about the frames from here to here. Trying to change the handle type. I don't think that's helping. So we'll make this full screen. Adjusting these like this will probably come back to bite me later. But I want the cat to be, up until this keyframe, the cat moves in a fairly linear way. And then it's only here that it makes the decision to turn. So I think I was just, like with these here, like it was like it's sending this information back in time, right? Just depending on how this points. So I want the back side of this that's earlier in time to just point straight back, and then same for this one. So like this point, if I grab this one, it should be like, it should just be pointing at this one essentially. It should be right on the, I thought it should be right on the green line, but that's not totally true. There we go. Just had to adjust both. Okay, so, and I mean, I don't want the cat going totally straight either, but it shouldn't know what's coming. It's even as perceptive as cats are. It looked like it could see the future there, and that is not what I was going for. All right, let's look at this again, scrub through this. So here at the beginning, cat walks forward, just following the human, walks a little past, then sees the person turn, and then a couple frames later starts following. That's great. I think by here, it might... No, I should just change the cat position. Here it might already be closer. Hopefully that's not too fast. So the person comes up, it pauses, the cat's sort of still walking. Then the person turns and the cat turns to maybe just zoom in here so I've got fine control. Just another 2 frames of delay. So it's up here, it's following the person turns, the cat turns, follows the person in. I don't even know why I have the cat walking instead of just her carrying the cat, which is how this would actually go. And okay, we're going to do something here. So the cat comes here. We're going to make this part of the cat like walking around her. As she sits down. Cool. And then her motion, this is where she's down, right? The only thing I'm going to change, so she comes around the corner, gets to here. And just here I'm going to have her a little closer to the wall, I guess. So, and does that still make sense for the cat? No. So let's get the cat's keyframes going again. So this one's like there, and this one's like there. Of course, I've also missed. Oh, so she should stay. What is this? The Y. Boy, that's hard to see. Is that lined up? Yeah. So that's the Y. So this is the one I want. Delete that one and copy that one. So now she comes in here, she sits down, and she gets close to the wall. Okay, now we can make sure the cat's good. The cat's good. 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 Okay, so that's that, and that's all keyframed. Let's say we went out to 1570 here. So I'll update that. Just add another one for that location. Okay, let's see how we did. Let me play this in real time. I'll adjust the viewport a little bit here, and this is what that looks like. Okay, not bad. I think I'm going to change the camera a little bit because the camera here, the camera's leading her, which I don't want. I want her driving the action, both of the cat and the camera. So if I just move that out quite a bit, let's look at it again. It's not perfect. Again, it anticipates too much here. Like there shouldn't really be. I should take. I want it moving the whole time, but like this. So I'm gonna grab. I'm gonna put a keyframe here, and then I'm gonna move it out to about here, where she's actually rounded the corner. And then I can move this one back a bit. Okay, so she comes up to the corner, stops, then we really track her in and down. We could be a little slower with that. That's still good. She gets away from us though. She's way over there on the edge of the frame. So maybe that back a bit, and this back just a little bit. Look at the. Nope. This one has to be there. But this one can move up a bit. There. She starts to move, the camera follows. See, we could move faster here. So here we could already be like here. So if I put a keyframe on this one and then I move it back to here, how does that feel? Comes up. And we start moving pretty fast. Still feels pretty consistent. Let's play it. Nope, that's super fast. Let me move it back. I don't know about that. I'm gonna get rid of that one so we see what we had before. That's better, just like that even. The only thing I'm worried about is how far to the edge of the frame she gets. Though, having said that, it's not really the camera, it's her. She goes really fast right there. So right, like here, she's going fast. Where are her keyframes? If we just move her. Oops, nope, that's the wrong way. That's when she sits down. So to change this, I'd have to move those out. She covers quite a bit here. And I want to lose this edge of the alley. Like there's the corner of the building here. And because I think it's a different scene. Like here, we're out on the street, right? Because there's like the street here. You can see the front of the building. As we come in past this corner, the scene changes. Now we're in the alley, we're sort of closed in, and especially as that goes beyond the camera frame. Now all we're going to be seeing is this wall. We're like firmly here in the alley. And then we get our shot of her. But how's her speed? That is, she moves fast. And then here we're just hanging out. Okay, I think her sitting down is about the right speed. If I just move these out, maybe 10 frames. Let's watch this. She should also stop before she sits down. So if this is the sit down action. This, I'm going to duplicate and move just the one frame or so. I'm going to grab these keys. And she'll take just a beat before she sits down, and that might also improve our timing. Let's watch it. Ooh, that is the shortest beat ever. So here she's moving, then she stops. I'm just going to make that longer. And the camera moves slower. Camera move a lot slower. Then it's too slow up front. Yeah. Okay, that looks okay to me. So I think we're going to leave the shot here. I'm going to watch it one more time. I'm going to get rid of some of the overlays. Here we go. I think that'll work fine. Okay, I'm going to save this. Turn my gizmos back on. Okay, and then let's look at the cameras. So we've got a new camera here. I didn't copy the one I thought. Okay, so this is going to go from... It's interesting. I was using the same frame number for the start and end. Do I want to keep doing that? Because it'll actually, like, one will end and then the next one will pick up the next frame. 1570. That's fine for now. Okay. Cool. I think we've got time to do another one. So let's go look at this. So we're right here. Now it's the next morning. And I wonder if we want to show her in the alley at all in the morning. I think we do. So this will be... So in the morning, cue ball and mittens, wake up. This will just be the wake up. I was maybe going to have them stand up and start walking, but if I make that dialogue instead, then maybe it's less to animate. And better, of course. We're always looking for the quality. You'll do that. Morning mittens. Time for us to find a new place we can live. And it looks like I was breaking up my dialogue just as far as formatting. Oops. Okay. So we'll do that. So just added an extra scene, but they will be here in the morning. We're gonna do it as a new camera. So I'm gonna duplicate this camera, but we're gonna start it right from here. So 1570. This camera's got the same keyframes, which is fine. going to get rid of some of them. So it'll have these two, and then let's see, we need enough time for a line of dialogue, which is this is maybe 3 seconds. It's plenty for the dialogue. So we're at 1570, takes us to 1800. Nope, sorry, 1600. We'll do 1650. And all we're going to do is move the camera very slightly, which I'm going to do here, so we're not looking at the camera. Sorry, back to this keyframe. We'll add a marker. We'll bind this camera to the marker. Okay, now we're on this camera. Okay, here's the new camera. We go to 1650, we said, and here I'm going to move it just slightly. And then rotate it back. So it's hardly a camera move at all. It's just super subtle. So we'll come in here. So it starts here, which picks up exactly what the last one set up. So off, and then we'll do the move with a fade to the morning light, and yeah, that's that. Okay, and we'll give this camera its name, which is 1570 to 1650. Great. I'm going to save the script since we just made a change there. All right, then we are in the store. At the moment, what's going through my head is how necessary is this scene, or is this scene the best way to communicate what we want to communicate? Which is, because it's like her, it's getting things. It's getting a new tent, which is their new home, getting a battery for that card that she's going to play. It communicates something that she's getting these things specifically. That this is where her concern is right now. This is going to be probably the densest environment though to model, like a store with all the merchandise. The clerk is another character, and possibly some other characters in the store. Yeah, seems okay now that I'm looking at it again. This is what we'll do. So we'll cut, I think especially this. So we have her in one location, sort of settling in, implying that she falls asleep. She wakes up in the morning. We change really nothing more than the lighting. She wakes up in the morning and says that she's going to find a new place to live. Which brings us to the store where she does that. Okay, so that's the next scene. 2 more to do, the store and then the final tent day. 2 more, I guess, the interior and exterior. Yeah, so let's go set this up. So we're starting at frame 1650. And I'll just give us some room again. Actually, this may be a little longer. Okay, so if we look at our environment here, it's this scene. So let me hide buildings again. And then we've got like the interior of the store here. So let's look at the script. There's some dialogue here, some interaction. So we've got a customer walks into the store ahead of Cue Ball, and the clerk says to the other customer, "Good morning." Doesn't say anything to Cue Ball. I want to communicate that with the way we hold the camera. Cue Ball gets stares from the store clerk and customers. She goes down aisles, picks up the flashlight, a tent, and a battery. She checks out. Clerk gives her the total, $42.87. She says thank you. That's the interaction. So this good morning, I guess this is what we want to play. So there's another customer who walks in ahead of her. Then she walks in. The clerk says good morning, only to the other customer. All right, so here's the store, and just a reminder, I guess, that I have these areas laid out where they're all really close to each other, but in the final cut, you're not going to realize how close any of these other locations are. So it's more like we're building a set than the city actually being laid out this way. It could be that there's some distance, some time that goes by between these different locations. So I'm going to change how I'm doing this. I'm going to put a frame between the start and the end of things, because I'm a little worried that I've actually made a mistake by not doing that and maybe broken some of the animation. Although I think I had watched things and things weren't too bad. So if we do something like this, for the camera, so that's a new camera, and we've got a keyframe there. So if I get rid of all of these and put a new keyframe there, I think that's more what we want. Oops, and I need to put a marker and bind the camera. Now we can go into that camera. So this looks okay. Let's fill in a few basic props. Actually, had we started doing that already in the store? Yeah, I have these store fixtures. So I thought. But just turn off the exterior of the store. Okay, there we go. So I had put in some blocks just for the got like the cash register, some of the shelves, some refrigerators, the staircase that goes up, and then I think I want to put in one more thing here. That's I want to indicate this doorway, because I think we're going to have this camera shot through the doorway. I think is how we're going to do the interaction with the cashier, and then we'll cut to a camera more like this one, if she's here at the shelf picking up the things that she needs. That's how we'll do that. So let me indicate this doorway, and we'll just do this with a few really basic primitives. This should be, yeah, about the height of the shelves, maybe a little bit more. And then comes out to about there. Just going to get this in a local view. We'll do some face editing. Just extrude these down. Do we hit the ground? Not quite. So about like that is the doorway, and we've got our camera going back into object mode. That's not bad. 35mm. We get the whole doorway like this. Maybe we can do kind of like a crane shot, like a pedestal. If we started up here, we could even get like the store name, and then we like come down as she walks in. So we come down, we get like a store name. We come down, you can already start to see into the store. We get the clerk, we get the other customer walking in, we get her walking in, we get the good morning shade, and then we're like here, as sort of an establishing shot into the store. That's not bad. So we'll take it right here. Oh, duplicate this keyframe so we have it. And then where we are now at the beginning is actually going to be, up here, like this. I want it a little lower. We'll do like a smooth start on it. It won't be like a linear move. We'll like ease into it. That way we get time to sort of like read the sign. I don't even know if the sign is going to be interesting yet. We'll have to come up with a good name for a store, and then we're down here and we're seeing that interaction. And we're there probably till about here. Oops. So we hold that. Let's look at that just timing wise. Okay, that's fast. Because I'm just zoomed into my timeline, so I have no let's slow that down like halfway. Okay, I think just a smidge more. I think that's that. And the hold a bit longer. Gives time for the interaction of the good morning. Morning. Okay, yeah, something. Somewhere in there. Okay, and then we can go to the other camera. So let's first fix up the name here. And I'm going to totally change my convention so my frames don't overlap. This one until, what are we at? 1779. 1770, nope, 1797. Okay, and then we switch. Let's go to our top view. So I'm going to duplicate this camera, set a marker, bind the camera, and then the camera is going to be down here, I think. I think what we're going to do, let's see, let's get rid of, and get rid of all the keyframes for this camera. Make sure we didn't mess them up. Okay, so this one's going to be from here. I'm going to insert a keyframe for the location and rotation. But we're probably going to change the focal length. Let's look at this. just a little bit zoomed in, and a little bit more of the door, and we're going to be up. Oops. Oops again. Something like this. We get a nice reverse shot, which will establish us where we are. The clerk's here, although I'm probably going to move that around some. But clerk will be here. We see the door. This shelf is going to be lower. This one too. They're all going to be, oops, no, yeah. That one's going to be lower. This one's going to be lower. They're all going to be a little bit lower. Yeah, so far so good. And then I'm going to try, I kind of know what I want the camera to do. So I'm going to animate the camera first. We're going to have her walk in. We're going to show her walking down this aisle, sort of. And then we're going to go to this shot that we set up. But two things are going to happen. Okay, so here's our keyframe. About the same length. Let's see, this is 1650 to about 1800. So 250. We're going to go another, no, that's not right. 150. We're going to go about that much again. And then we're going to see what we can do. I'm going to put the camera here. I'm going to rotate it. Because I think that's the move that I want the camera to make, and then we're going to see if that makes any sense and if we can make the character like fit that motion if it still seems natural. So let's get some characters over here too. Oh, that's what I didn't do any of that for the other view. Let's do this one first though, and then we'll back it out, even though that's kind of annoying because the way her positioning works. No, we'll go to the beginning. We'll do it, make it nice and linear. Okay, I am recording keyframes. Where is she? I'm not going to worry about the cat again, because the cat will just be tucked into her jacket. So at the beginning, she's maybe like here. And there's got to be another character. I'm going to choose this one. It's like an extra, and then there will be a copy of him. We're going to do like a change. We're going to put the checkout here, like kind of at an angle. That's kind of weird. Maybe like this, up against the wall, and then there's some more. There's like a shelving unit behind him. how does that look? Way too high up. Yeah, that's okay. This is very similar to the registration shot. Works though. It does what I said I wanted it to do. Okay, let's go with that for the moment. Okay, if I go to this camera and go to this keyframe, by the time we get here, well, actually, I'm going to do something. By the time we get here, this person's going to be going down that aisle. And she'll be here. Slightly before that, though. So this person's walking in. And that's where they're going to get their hello, and then just make them not cross the corner. So that's them. And then cue ball comes straight in. The first person gets their hello. They don't. She's walking in, and then the camera cuts here. I should actually make her this all up to there. So then if we go beyond this, now we're into this camera. Okay, and now let's see what happens. So at this keyframe, cue ball is here. And back to the camera, at this keyframe, cue ball is here. Wherever the framing is nice. Let's switch to, so we have our overhead view here, and I can make changes, and we can do the framing on the camera here. Interesting. Is this? This camera's really high up. Or is she really low? Because we had her like sitting down. She's still at the sitting down height. Yep. Let's get rid of this Z location. Okay, so now she should be up here. Okay, so that's better. I guess the clerk should be 2. Just a bit. Okay, so now she's here. We're starting this, and by the end of it, she's here, and the camera. All right, this is a terrible shot. We don't see her at all. Okay, how can we do this? Because this is a great establishing shot. Like, this is a great reverse shot of what we just had. Then obviously I can change the timings so that she'd still be in frame. But even if she was in frame, she goes behind that that shelf completely. See, she's like shorter than it, and I don't think I want to make it shorter than it is right now. And then when we get here, the camera should be lower because the action is like on her hands and like interaction with the aisle. Is it weird if we just interpolate between those two? Yeah, interpolate. So she comes in. You know what? It wouldn't even be that weird if. Okay, so we see her here. That works good. Like, timing's good. Just as she's crossing the threshold into the store, we catch her here. This camera's moving. Is it okay? Like, can we have a shot like this of just the shelf? She'll be behind the shelf. We'll make the rotation match up. Like, it seems kind of weird to me because we just have like essentially empty frames. I like how that crosses. I think I only want to change the timing of this rotation. The move is fine. The move is great, actually. And then she gets up here and interacts with the shelf. Okay, I've got the camera selected. Let's look at this. Oops, I broke something. Select the camera. Things are starting to go slow, so I'm going to save this just in case. So with the camera selected, this should be the Z rotation, I think. And all I really need to do is slow it down initially. Like if I put a keyframe here for the rotation, and it only needs to be for the Z. So here I've got one that interpolates to this level, but then if I move it back, no. Hold on, we're gonna do that again because I did it the other way around from what I wanted. So we should really take a keyframe from right about here for the rotation, and again just the Z. And now I want to move it out to about here so that when we're here, the camera's only rotated this much. And now, so now we get her up to there, we see her go, and I want to do that just a little bit differently. Let's see how it is on this end. We see her pop out on this side and go to the shelf. Be cool. I think it'd be cool if we saw her walk into like between the aisles. Which way is that? If I go, yeah, forward, then I guess we don't really see it, but it's sort of implied. Actually, I'm not sure it is better. What does it do on this side? On this side, we still see her. All right, I don't know if it matters. Let's play it. I think. Hold on, I need to see again. I didn't like something about it. This is good. So the reverse shot. We accelerate a lot there. Let's move it back a bit. Yeah, that might be okay. It's interesting. I don't usually do like dead frames like this. Like there's no, like we don't see the character at all like this. It's really just like implied action of her walking through there. We're going to be seeing nothing but a store shelf. So we'll have to populate this with interesting stuff. Actually, the way this is, we need to fill like the entire store almost, because we're going to see, we'll see things from here. And then we've got this shot. Like we see everything. We'll see this shelf in detail, a little bit of this shelf, a little bit of this one, and the stuff back here against the back walls, whatever's on the wall over here. Yeah, we need to do these steps now. And this shelf, which is actually the one of interest where she gets things. All right, she'll be there for a bit. I'm going to put a keyframe on the camera here. Had a nice even frame 2000. It's not bad. So she gets her stuff. Here, let's watch the whole scene. Love this move. And there. Okay. Funny thing, I wonder if I could get away with I've got a couple thoughts here. What I was thinking is I wonder if I could get away with the same thing in reverse. She gets her items, and then we play the camera move. It'd be slightly different, would be like leading her instead of lagging. But we could do the same move in reverse. She comes up to the checkout. So we get like this angle. She stops at the checkout, does the pay line, and then walks out the door. Or she could, we could get her to this point. She gets her items, and then we could cut back to like this view. She walks down. Is this the aisle that we see her walk down? Yeah, she walks down that aisle. So we could cut to this, have her walk down the aisle, walk up here to the register, and then walk out, and then cut it as she's walking out. I kind of like that. Let's do it that way. Let's see, and this camera just holds in that position, which is where we want it. So that's cool. we can come back. I don't know if we ever come back to the same camera. So what do we decide? We get to 2000. So at 2001, I'm going to add a new marker. We're going to come back to this camera and bind it. Nope, it doesn't work that way. So how does this work? I put the marker, I select a camera, I bind it. Okay, now I think we got it. Did I break anything else? We've got this camera move, we've got this. She gets her items, and then here we'll have her walk back, and this is the view. I think that's pretty cool, actually. Okay, so let's grab her. So at frame, oops, I put this is wrong. So put that at 2000, right? Yeah, 99, 2000. Okay, so at 99, we just got to give her a keyframe. And then at 2000, we'll use this view again. So that's fine. At 2000, she's here. How long did it take her to walk up? Because it'd be about the same to walk out. This is the walk from 18 to 1920. So from about 2000 to about 2100. A little shy of that. She'll walk faster out because she knows what she's doing. So get this frame. She's up here at the register. And then we'll just do a couple sort of corrective frames to line her up with the aisle. So now she's here, she starts walking, walks down the aisle. Over here. I'm gonna make her take this turn just a little sharper. So she walks like straight over and then up. That's a little too straight. Yeah, to the checkout. And then they have their little moment here. What is the dialogue? It's pretty short, right? She checks out, which is like, he'll like scan it, you know, 4287, thank you. Gets us to something like this, right? Like beep, 4287, thank you. Yeah. Something like that. Oops. Okay. Yeah, so there we just fill it in, and then she walks out the door, and I think we're basically at this same angle. So she takes her things. Yeah, this is where she's frozen. What are we at? 2220 frames? That's like a second. It's like 1/1000. She gets to the door, then another second she goes out the door, and I'm actually going to cut it like before she's out of frame, but the way I'm doing the animation, I don't really have a way to do that. So that's it. So we get to 2247. Which I don't have a camera for, but I'm just going to update it here. What did I say? 2247. We're still on it. And this one isn't 1651 anymore. It's let's see. Just want to get that named correctly. It's this camera starts here, which is 1797. So this goes 1797 until 2000. 1797 to 2000. And then we've got this camera. I use the same camera, so I've got just a longer range. That's okay. I don't know if that's how I was doing it earlier. I had like an alt. I don't remember. I don't know if I actually used the same camera before at all. Okay, so that's not bad. It takes us up to frame 2247. If I go all the way back to frame 1, what does this look like altogether? It's always kind of fun to see. So we've got one more, technically two scenes to do. This interior and exterior, but this is one setting, and I might actually adjust these so they're both outdoor shots. Well, except I like her putting it into the popular tent, so maybe this will stay interior. Anyway, but one, I think this is more like one scene. It's just mixed interior exterior. One shot inside the tent, one shot from outside. So just one more to do, but I am going to leave that for another day. Going to make sure I've saved that. Going to go back to my modeling view where I've got everything. Cool. And I'm going to do just some simple changes on the view here. Oh, maybe not. Okay, yeah, I'll leave that as is. And this, we don't have any, there's no lighting or anything yet. That'll have to come later. Okay, if I go back to the very beginning, let's see what we have. And this is, let's see, 2200 frames. We're at 24 frames per second. So about 100 seconds, just shy of 100 seconds of material here. So that's interesting. A little more than a minute. I think some of these will probably get stretched out a bit. I've probably compressed some of these too much for the dialogue and everything they need. Would be my guess, because we're nearly at the end of the script and we're at about half the runtime that I had originally estimated. But I think we can expand these. We can just expand the timing on a lot of these without too much issue. But yeah, so about 100 100 seconds, like a minute and a half, plus a little bit. I'm going to turn off auto keyframing. I want to save everything we've done. Might have already done that. Okay, and let's watch it, and then we'll end it here for the evening. Thanks for joining. Okay, so that's it. I didn't mind the timing too much on any of that. Of course, it might be a different story once we get the dialogue. Of course, there are a few places here where I've got visibility of objects turned off. Like we did not see the tractor here. But that's okay. And then I think the only thing that really bothered me is here, she disappeared at the end of this scene. This is, I think, when we, so here we do the nighttime and she's there, and then I think when it's daytime, I need to just set another keyframe so she stays until the end of the shot. So let's fix that up real quick. I think I've got her selected, so I'm looking at her keyframes. Her location, XY, and I don't have a Z. So, I just need to duplicate these out to where the cut happens. Oh, I've missed X. Duplicate X as well. Okay. I actually didn't want Z. Because this is where she's except now I think I've missed the motion, or did I? Oh no, so this is where she comes down, and then this is the morning. Morning, she stays there, and then yeah, she can jump over when we're in this shot. Okay, yeah, got that fixed up. That was a small thing, but since we saw it, we'll get it sorted out. Okay, save this. I'm gonna watch it one more time and talk talk through it as we go, remembering that there's one more scene at the end. And I think I've got all the objects turned back on now as well, though I'm going to turn off some of the viewport extras. Okay, yeah, one more time for the end of the stream, and I'll talk through it. So they're in the tent. Cat comes over, brushes her face, wakes her up. She hears the tractors going. Police comes by, slits the tent, slits the next one, slits her tent. The cat jumps out, runs away. She gets out of the tent, runs after it. The cat gets away. She comes back. She starts talking to the police officer. He tells her to get her things. She goes into the tent, grabs those few things we see, comes back out, asks where she's supposed to go. The cat comes back. She picks up the cat. Police officer tells her where there's a shelter she can stay. Got plenty of time for dialogue. And then with some implied time passing, the tractors come in here and knocking down the camp. Now we are standing in line at the shelter. Oh, I turned these walls back on. This wall won't quite be here in the same way. But she's standing in line, moves up. Now we're in the alley. She sits down, tucks in for the night. We jump to daytime. She wakes up in the morning. Then we're at the store. She's walking into the store, doesn't get greeted. Walks down the aisle, sees the things she needs, picks them out. The tent, the battery, the flashlight. Walks back up to the front, checks out, gets the total, says thank you, walks out. That's what we've got so far. And then we will, of course, go from there to her finishing setting up the new tent. So Cue Ball has set up a tent in a new location. She replaces the battery and the greeting card, listens to the recorded message from a family member, which we still need to write, places the card into a pocket of the tent. She pets Mittens. Exterior, Cue Ball is finishing up setup of the new tent, putting on the rainfly. And that's where we end. Not bad. So there's a few more sort of passes that I need to do on it. I think the way that I think about storytelling, we're going to come through here and really think about, does the timing work? Do the characters work? We'll get the timing set up right for the dialogue. I'm going to turn off this building again, which was blocking our people. There we go. So that's that. Let's see. Let me play just that. So here she is in line. Line's moving very slowly. She finally gets to the front, has this interaction with the receptionist, tells her she can't have cats, so she leaves here. That's when she goes and finds the alley. So yeah, we'll do some more. We'll get this last scene blocked in to the same level we've got it here, and then it's time to do some passes beyond the blocking. So the blocking is just rough. But, there's a whole bunch of passes we're going to do. We're going to do. Obviously, we've got to get more detail into everything: the scenes, the characters. We'll do lighting. We'll do sound, animation. We're gonna have voiceover to do. We'll do lip sync to the voice recording, all that stuff. So lots still to do, but we've got a story. Seems like it's coming together pretty well. I'm enjoying all of this so far. Enjoying the process. So that's where I'm going to call it for tonight. Thanks for joining me. Appreciate whoever's watching the live stream and anybody who watches this recorded on the YouTube channel as well. Thanks for tuning in. I'm having a fun time with this project and looking forward to, in our next stream, probably finishing out the blocking, plus moving on to some of the next steps, which is exciting. So thanks, and I'll leave it there.